I'm going 1.4 miles an hour. It's either the beans are good or this thing's a piece of junk. But no, my potentiometer on my bottom sieve got cut, and then the bottom grates went, and they shut. And all of a sudden, my monitor went, and then my jammed up my tail in the elevator. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
I've got a gut feeling this is going to be a good year. The farmer is the eternal optimist.
We farm together as a family. If we all put our heads together, I don't know what we couldn't achieve.
Hopefully we hit 90 bushel. I think we could do it. Just have healthy plants and a good return on investment.
One of the worst things about farming is making a decision on planting depth. A quarter of an inch on your depth, sometimes you won't get a stand.
As you can see, my pinky ring's empty, so obviously I didn't win. With this class of guys that's in Podfathers, I mean, anyone could win.
So Dad planted this as an irrigated field, obviously. We field cultivated it. Things that we found out in the past that really, really works well. Phosphorus in starters work really, really well for soybeans. Problem is more phosphorus, more growth, more energy. How are you going to control it? We have had trouble with being able to hold it back, especially in an irrigated situation. You can hold it back more if you don't turn your irrigation on. So what we'll do is if we come in and we feel like they're growing too fast, we burn them back. As soon as we burn them back, I run the irrigation on it real quick just to wash some of that burn off a little bit. As soon as I think it's going again, micros. So I'll come across the strip with micros. And then once we get through that, I try to control how much water we put on and try not to let it get, keep getting taller. Well, Dad loves his irrigation. So what happens is Dad keeps, man, you sure we don't need to turn the irrigation on? Sure. And I'm like, don't turn it on, don't turn it on, don't turn it on. And then I come over to his farm one morning, it's like, and I'm like, what are you doing? He was like, man, they look like they was dry. So now I got this huge, tall plant, and they are laying over some, so I am losing, some yield because they're laying over. Because as soon as they start going over, it shades out the bottom of the plant, they give up, and then it's all over.
Right.
We had a couple real hard windstorms. So, I mean, if you look through some of these flat spots out here, like the beans that are coming up through them look tremendous, but if you went back in there and you peeled them apart, a lot of them beans underneath there, they gave it up. And then over to my house, I put that plot in over there, and it was specifically just for the Podfather, so I could go out there and play with it, and tinker, see what I could figure out. Here's where some went wrong. When I laid out where I wanted to plot at, I wanted about 10 acres right behind my house that I could play with. And when I sent the crew over there to go put anhydrous on, strip till the farm, which was 100% in corn, they went right across it.
Sure they did.
They went, but they didn't know, and it was my fault.
I get it, but...
And then it got worked up. I had no idea that there was anhydrous on that sucker. So these beans are like getting out of control, and the stems are like that big around, like big as corn plants. I'm like, what is going on with these things? So I had a couple different people come and look at them when they were early on, and they were going nuts. And I'm like, I do not have this much fertility here. And then Dad was like, well, I put anhydrous on that. I'm like, all right, that's why. So having said that, I called a guy. Anyway, he came out, he looked at them, and he was like, that field is never gonna put any pods on it. It's never gonna do anything. It's forage, you might as well chop it for forage for cattle. And then I had another guy come look at it, told me the same thing. That pissed me off.
Sure.
So I did some talking with Corey, I did some talking with some other guys, and I put on a few products, and I tried to reverse the problem. And now I ended up with this crazy plant that's branched out like crazy, had a ton of pods on it. then we had a tornado come through. Yeah. And it blew it all down. So at the end, I threw my hands in the air and I'm like, I'm done, I'm out, I'm not touching it anymore. And the field that we're in now is not a crazy intensive management that I would call as crazy as what I did at my house. It's crazier than anybody else has done anything. And my ROI, if there was a contest on ROI, I am losing. I mean, I'm not even on the stage with them boys, I'm in the audience. Like, it's bad. I'm not in the groove at all. Copperhead concaves, to me, are the only way to go. This is a real return on our investment. Use less horsepower, less fuel, and did a better job cleaning. It's second to none.
I'm very fortunate that I've been working with Concept Agritech now for 4 years. We have 12 Concept Agritech plots out right now.
Man, this is like drinking water. It does that much for you.
We came down to see Mad Miles. Well, now we're gonna fly back to Searcy and then drive over to Augusta, hopefully do a winning fly for Podfathers. And here we go. Well, I think we're about 95, we're actually 93.4 miles out, so we'll be there shortly. And we made it. And we're gonna get spun around here and shut her down.
So we got an interesting project right here. We're leveling some fields. With the pivot, we lose so much, our dryland corners, we just lose so much yield there. So we're taking this, we're leveling this, taking it to grade with the help of Rainbow Land Levelers and Terrell Fowler. So we're taking a 207-acre field and turning it into 3 fields, and now it'll be furrow irrigated, which hopefully will be more efficient. With pivots, you're only kind of 75–80% irrigating fields, and now we'll be 100% irrigated, so our yield should go up quite a bit. Terrell, you want to tell us, you kind of see in the background what we're doing.
Yeah.
Cuts in the fields, and just a big algorithm, I guess.
It's kind of what it is. I mean, we got it split up into 3 different sections, like what Perry said.
So we're putting a fall in this field.
Yeah.
So the high side of the field, which would be to the east against the road.
10th. It's falling to the 10th to the west.
A 10th to the west. Gravity starts working for us then.
Yeah.
The water, we'll put the water in at the top side of the field, and it'll run down our furrows and irrigate the whole field.
And then on the bottom, we'll have a tail ditch.
Yeah.
To make it run back
to take the water out. At some point in the future, we haven't really talked about that. We might could design something, what they call a tailwater recovery system to catch the runoff water and use it somewhere else. To be more
definitely
eco-friendly.
Yeah.
This project's long overdue. This is a really nice field, and this should make it nicer. So, anyway, you need to go work on that.
Probably need to go look at it there.
Okay, we'll get out of here.
Okay.
They want to talk about it. You want to talk about it?
Yeah, we can.
Peanut harvest is underway in Gregory, Arkansas. Matt Swanson's here, and this is his crop. I know essentially nothing about peanuts. So 5 or 6 days ago, he had a machine in here that rolled up the plants, and they've dried for 5 days, 6 days.
Now,
okay, close to a week. They've dried for a week.
Yeah, so these are 30-inch peanuts. It's a very slow process planting them. And then essentially, we treat them a lot like a non-GMO soybean between then and now. They look good. We haven't even got enough harvested to know really what they're yielding yet, so
Well, at the end of the day, it's the average that counts.
That's right.
The reason I was interested in peanuts are naturally resistant to nematodes. The idea is we plant peanuts, we eliminate our nematode population enough where we can get back in here for the next 4, maybe 5 years and raise soybeans and corn without any issues. Maybe eventually the nematodes won't be such a nemesis. It's been a joy. But I think these guys need to get back to work.
Yeah.
The peanut harvest is not fast, so they need to, every inch they can cover, they need to get it done. So we're in the field, combine's running. We got to do a few more measurements because we got to do a total of 10 acres. And of that 10 acres, we're going to isolate 3. The yield's been good, but we've suffered in seed size. I'm not seeing it in test weight. The moisture on these, when we take them to granary and get the final moisture, it should be around 12.5 to 13.5, I'm guessing. They're ready.
Where do you like to harvest them at?
Above 13.5 to 15, so they're a little drier than I like to harvest, just because we're going to have some shattering. So from the combine seat, we'll be able to hear and see the beans actually popping, hitting the glass. Nice field, it's done well for us in the past, so hopefully it'll do good for us today. All right, so now the all-important measuring tape, get our acres right. All right, everybody agree it's 99 feet? That looks like 99 feet to you, Jared? All right, so our next one is 330 feet. Look at that, as long as the tape is. 330 feet. All right. We're doing about everything we can. Our soil sampling, tissue testing. We know what in the plant, we know what the plant needs. You know, I don't feel like we go overboard. We're just, timing is always an issue. We get the timing right and everything else seems to just fall into place. Am I gonna make the 100, wherever the world record is, 172 bushels maybe? No, but it's the overall average that pays my bills. It's not just one record yield or one record crop.
We want the bottom canopy to be healthy with a good fungicide. We use Revitec on it.
But on our farm, we got to average a 6 bushel better with the Revitec fungicide than any other fungicide.
We got some Monty's product. We use it in a lot of other crops. It's a changer.
We focus on things that complement soil biology, things that complement soil health.
It just keeps giving back.
Go weigh them, and then we'll come back and dump them and go weigh them again. I loaded the dump truck first, then Dad. Yeah, I loaded that first, then Dad's, and then the freight liner. We cut some beans. They look pretty good, a little dry. It's November 10th. We're cutting some beans today. Moisture's really dropped. I think they're running 10%. Going back to get the weights on all 3 of the trucks that we loaded, and then going back to cut some more beans. Oh, it's beautiful tonight. I don't know, 60 degrees today. A little windy. Yesterday it was pretty windy, beautiful day. We haven't had a frost. We had a couple frosts earlier, but we got lucky and didn't get them, so we could get on the fields early. Wait to see what the weights are, and hopefully everything's good. Head back to the combine. I got to cut another load for the morning. They're heading to Frederick to drop these beans off. Got to get them done. We got a bunch more corn we got to get on and try to get done soon. My problem is I got to remember where the pivots are, because if I'm not paying attention, I'll run right into one. That'll wake us up. See, my problem right now is I am on an angle, and my auger will get stuck in him. Hang on a second. I need to get, there's a ravine right here, it is. I need to get out of this. One of our biggest problems is getting the equipment from farm to farm. We fight with a lot of bridges that are too narrow. We got to go up logging roads, single lane roads. It's just, it can be a challenging nightmare, but we get through it. Sometimes we have to go through the river, try to do that when the river's down. So, one of the things we've learned, I had problems with it last year too, but how difficult it is to irrigate soybeans and at what stage and what time. That's something that I think everybody fights with. When do you turn it on? When do you want to stress them to make them push pods? You know, you don't want to make them lazy. So that's a challenge that I've had for the past 3 years with beans on 100 pivots. We learned some this year. So next year will be interesting. We're going to change a few things, and hopefully we'll be more precise, and we'll get better irrigating beans. As far as the corn, we got that down pretty good. We've had the best corn yields we've ever had so far. We've only done maybe a quarter of the corn. We still got a lot more to go. Trying to get these beans done. They're dropping moisture bad. So we're gonna cut these, get these done. We got a lot of cover crop to get in the ground, and hopefully the weather holds off and stays dry a little longer.
It's been a pretty smooth harvest, so knock on wood, and we can keep everything rolling here. One of the bigger reasons this harvest has gone so much smoother is, we got two Fendt T9s over there. They've just been pumping the grain. And we're actually producing more bushels than what we have in the past. They don't lack for power, that's for sure. I've been very pleased with everything.
Copperhead concaves, to me, are the only way to go. This is a real return on our investment. Used less horsepower, less fuel, and did a better job cleaning. It's second to none. Check this out. So, if this doesn't say anything about Copperhead, nothing will. I had half of my planer that were rubber wheels, and I had half the planer that were Copperheads, and we planted beans. This wasn't corn because we had all Copperheads on my corn rows, but I didn't know how they were gonna work on soybeans, and I was like kind of skeptical. I was like, man, are they gonna close the row up together? Are they gonna pinch too hard? A day and a half sooner, the Copperhead rows were up. A day and a half, because Dad had called me and he was like, what is wrong with that field? I'm like, what are you talking about? He was like, every other path is up. Like, something's wrong. That wasn't it. And I was like, yep, this is what we're gonna do, especially when we were behind wheat beans, you know what I mean? Straw, all that stuff. I wanted to pinch them rows together. Well, after seeing that, we were like, we ain't doing that anymore. So we stripped everything off, so all 31 rows on the one planter and all 16 rows on the other planter, all Copperheads. We don't run nothing else by them. All the rest of them, we took and threw them in the garbage. Well, we're back here, finish up the season. Back in 2000, and I think it was 16, we had a Class 8 combine. We bought a 16-row chopping corn head, and that combine wouldn't handle the amount of material that was coming in. We kind of backed up and said, what are we going to do to facilitate this problem that we had? We use our copperhead concaves mainly for our corn. And these particular concaves, they said that they would increase capacity by 60%. I didn't necessarily believe it at the time, but these things in corn are absolutely incredible. Automatic, I mean, right out of the gate, increase all the way to 5,300 bushels an hour. Use less horsepower, less fuel, and did a better job cleaning. I thought it was a home run. Basically what we did is we turned a Class 8 combine into a Class 9 or a Class 10 combine, and we saved fuel. That's huge. Between fuel cost, timeliness of harvest, grain quality, it's second to none. This is a time saver. This is a real return on our investment. Copperhead concaves, to me, are the only way to go. I don't know what I would have done without finding this product. One of my sisters runs a hugely successful farming operation north of here, 20 miles north of here, and it's all over the place. One of my daughters, one of them's a dentist, the other one is Madeline. She's younger, and she wants something to do with agriculture. And if you take my two sons, them wanting to farm, maybe Madeline wants to do something with cattle, and maybe they all bring strong attributes to the table. And I've said it before, especially with our family, what we try to do is make sure everybody stays in their lane. Not saying everybody needs to be put in their place. Everybody's strong in an area. It's very important that you strengthen them by letting them stay in those areas. That's what makes you successful. And then when you bring everything together, that's what makes it work. So that's kind of how we think about our future. And at the end of every harvest, we wrap it up. I think those things. That's what our next goal is. So having said that, it's been a great year. I can't wait to see how we all ended up. All of us are dying to know what our placement is, and none of us actually know where we sit. Some of it is to the bomb score. Some of it is, some people want to say that I'm a sandbagger and I don't really want to talk about my real true yields, which is true to an extent. But my father always said, why talk about your yields? Because talking about them doesn't really make you any money. He always kept that stuff really close. He never really talked about it. So there's some of that that bleeds out in me. So I don't know if it's a sandbagger or, you know what, I am sandbagging. There's no doubt about it. I do sandbag terribly. You can ask Matt that. He calls me a sandbagger all the time.
I'm scared of everybody. There's not a single Podfather participant out there that I think that I'm any better than.
Well, we're not out of the vines yet, boys. Stop, Nick. Stop.